Good morning and welcome to the first of a series of webinars which will tell you about what the primary years programme looks like at Raha International School. I am Vanessa Keenan, the PYP coordinator across our schools at Gardens and Khalifa City campuses. We will begin by taking a look at a short video which tells us what an IB education is.
For over 40 years, an international baccalaureate education has been helping people cross the boundaries that separate languages, countries, and cultures. Today, the IB continues that tradition, providing a continuum of international education that features 4 high-quality programs for students from 3 to 19 years old. In a rapidly changing world, IB programs aim to develop intercultural understanding and respect, a mission reflected in 10 core values. The IB Learner Profile describes the attributes of people who are empowered to help create a better and more peaceful world. As IB learners, we strive to be inquirers, curious, enthusiastic, lifelong learners who ask powerful questions. Knowledgeable, exploring locally and globally significant ideas. Thinkers, critical, creative, ethical decision-makers. Communicators, good listeners, confident in more than one language. Principled, honest, fair, and responsible. Open-minded, developing critical appreciation for our own cultures and the cultures of others. Caring, committed to service with the community. Risk-takers, courageous, resourceful, and resilient. Balanced, focused on well-being for ourselves and those around us. Reflective, thoughtful, realistic, and hopeful for the future. At the heart of an IB education are passionate, lifelong learners who believe that how you learn and why you're learning is as important as what you study in school. Students are at the center of IB programs, internationally minded people who recognize their common humanity and shared guardianship of the planet. An IB education means opportunities to develop healthy relationships, imagination, and ethical reasoning. It means building the confidence and persistence students need to achieve challenging goals. It means learning what it is to be human and how to thrive in a complex world. IB learners work together to turn experience into understanding. As they learn how to learn and how to manage their own learning, IB students are supported by assessment, a variety of strategies through which teachers help them understand how they're doing and how they can keep doing better. An IB education helps students build understanding through inquiry, action, and reflection. Students learn by doing, connecting the classroom with the world beyond. IB programs culminate in exhibitions, projects, and independent research that demonstrate not only what students know, but also what they can do. An IB education creates learning communities in which students can increase their understanding of language and culture, and which can help them to become more globally engaged. Through IB programs, students explore how to face both local and global challenges that involve the environment, development, conflict, rights, cooperation, and governance. The IB's courses and curriculum frameworks are engaging, relevant, challenging, and significant. In IB programs, students learn content that is worth knowing and that can help them make a difference. An IB education spans traditional academic disciplines and pushes students to make connections across many fields of study. IB programs are broad and balanced, conceptual, and connected. Their rigorous models of assessment have earned widespread respect, including recognition of the IB diploma as an international university entrance qualification. The IB represents an independent, worldwide community of educators who are committed to excellence. Thousands of creative IB World schools collaborate to connect high ideals with the day-to-day details of teaching and learning. They hold each other mutually accountable to standards and practices that define high-quality educational programs. What makes an IB education unique? Alumni, educators, supporters, and more than 1 million students and their families every year, working together to make a better world through education.
We will start today in the same way we start learning with our students, by asking questions. We have noticed parents who are new to the IB and the primary years programme, also referred to as the PYP, often have similar questions. You might be wondering, how is the PYP different to other curriculums around the world? How do I know what my child is learning? How will my child be assessed? What subjects are taught in the PYP? And how can I support my child? The IB aims to create inquiring, knowledgeable, caring students who, through learning, create a peaceful world with intercultural understanding and respect. Our school is fortunate to have learners from all over the world come together to learn from each other and about different cultures, so they can know more about people who are different from us. The Primary Years Programme, PYP, is a curriculum framework which places the students at the heart of the learning. We do this by ensuring that students have agency in their learning. By agency, we simply mean students' voices are included in planning for learning. They have choice in what and how they want to learn based on their personal interests, and ownership in how they present and move forwards in their learning. You saw in the video that an IB education leads to international mindedness. This is done by developing the attributes of the learner profile through both approaches to teaching and approaches to learning. Let's take a moment to consider what attributes you might like to see in your child and what attributes you would like them to develop at their time in Raha. Which attributes do you consider to be your strength, and which would you like to develop in yourself? Together with these attributes of the learner profile, we have some other elements within the PYP. We address what the students will know, what the students will understand, which is a higher level of thinking, and which skills they are developing, and what action they might take as a result of their learning. By ensuring students develop learning skills and conceptual understandings, which are based on a foundation of knowledge, we are providing opportunities for our students to transfer their learning into new context and develop as inquiring, caring, knowledgeable people who want to make the world a better place. They can do this through action, including social justice, advocacy, participation, social entrepreneurship, and lifestyle choices. Let's take a look at knowledge to begin. As we have students who come from different countries, as well as our host country, you might wonder what students should be learning. The IB has outlined 6 transdisciplinary themes, enabling children to learn by building concepts and skills across subject areas rather than by studying them in isolation. The 6 themes are of universal significance and offer continuing learning and progression. Every PYP school develops its own program of inquiry within the framework of these transdisciplinary themes. This enables schools to develop engaging units significant to their own local context. The term transdisciplinary means that the themes and units transcend the boundaries of individual subject areas. The teaching of multiple subjects is integrated into every unit of inquiry. The themes are who we are, where we are in place and time, how we express ourselves, how we organize ourselves, how the world works, and finally, sharing the planet. The themes are revisited in every grade each year, but the focus of the theme will be different in each grade. Let's take a look at an example from one unit from grade 4, which is done under the transdisciplinary theme, How We Organize Ourselves. The unit in this example looks at how students understand the relationships between ethics, business, market demands, and environmental impact. The students inquire into the causes of market forces, the perspective of business practices, and their responsibility towards managing ethical businesses. Students in this unit will have an opportunity to set up and run their own small business in a special event called Souk Day. You can imagine the rich learning that young children will have in how they organize themselves around principles of business. You may also wonder what subject or traditional knowledge areas students will use in their learning. The PYP incorporates subject areas and their strands into each of the units. When we plan a unit, we consider if the unit might have an arts, science, or social studies focus, and plan for language and mathematical development. We also have Ministry of Education subjects, which include Islamic for Muslim students, Arabic, and UAE social studies and moral education. We make every effort to connect these subjects to the units in the programme of inquiry where there is an authentic connection. Something that makes the PYP a special curriculum is the focus on concepts and conceptual learning. Concepts are simply the way we organize ideas and information in our minds. Teachers plan using broad key concepts such as form, function, change, causation, perspective, and responsibility. They also use disciplinary related concepts, for example, rhythm in music, pattern in art, or measurement in mathematics. The importance of conceptual learning cannot be underestimated. Taking this approach ensures we provide students with opportunities to think at a higher level. As our children are growing up in an ever-changing world, and we cannot be sure what the jobs of the future will be, it is important that we teach our students how to learn. The PYP addresses this through the approaches to learning. This is what we want the students to be able to do in any new learning situation. Our focus is on thinking skills, social skills, communication skills, self-management skills, and research skills. When students are able to transfer their learning to new situations, they are capable of taking meaningful action. We encourage students to do this by reflecting on what they have learned, choosing how they want to make a difference, and taking an appropriate action. We are very proud that Raha students have taken action in a variety of ways. They have been inspired to participate, make lifestyle choices, be advocates, act upon social justice and social entrepreneurship. You might also be wondering, how will I know what my child has learned? Assessment in the PYP is an ongoing process of pre-assessments, formative assessments, and summative assessments. Teachers use a variety of tools and strategies to gather information about the children. Assessment addresses all the essential elements and the attributes of the learner profile, and it empowers the student to take ownership of their own learning. Assessment has many forms and purposes. A particularly important part of assessment is called assessment as learning, which focuses on the child as a reflective learner. Assessment as learning, students think about their own learning through the tasks. Assessment for learning, teachers gather data to inform planning. This helps the teacher to think about what to do next. And assessment of learning. Teachers making a fixed judgment about what has been learned for official purposes, such as reports. There are lots of ways you can support your child as a RAHA learner. Here are some ideas for you to consider. You might take an inquiry stance with open-ended questions. Support conceptual understandings by thinking of big ideas. Prioritize reflection by giving your child time to think about their learning. Support your child's agency through voice, choice, and ownership of their learning. And give feedback that goes beyond the moment. Here are some questions which may help you when you want to talk to your children about concepts. Thank you for taking part in today's webinar. I hope you have learned something new about the PYP. If you have any other questions which were not addressed today, please do send me an email. We look forward to seeing you again online at our next curriculum webinar. Thank you for attending, and goodbye.